The ocean and the environment, topic 2, eutrophication. So in this picture you can see a satellite image of the Baltic Sea taken July 3rd, 2001. And these bluish greenish color in the Baltic Sea are phytoplankton plumes. And we're going to be talking about these in this topic. Some organic substances act as nutrients and they speed the growth of some organisms. So for example, if we are releasing a lot of fertilizer into the ocean, we're not just fertilizing our lawns or our fields, but we're also fertilizing the ocean. And then the algae can plume, which can be really harmful or detriment to other organisms. And ultimately it can lead to hypoxia, where there's no free oxygen left in the surface water. Here in this global map, you can see the oxygen depletion. And so all the red dots indicate where oxygen depletion takes place every year. The green one episodically, orange periodically, yellow persistently, and in the blue ones unknown. So in the diagram next to it, you see changes in the seafloor community and shallow coastal waters following eutrophication. In the image A to the left, you see a healthy environment. And in B, if you have a lot of algae growth on top of the surface, this will rain down to the ocean floor, will destroy the structural diversity on the seafloor, and it will use up the oxygen by the decomposition. And so the animal community will be replaced by the one of bacterial decomposers. The most common cause of eutrophication in coastal environments is the addition from nutrients largely derived from land. So either fertilizers or spillage of raw sewage, as you can see in the two images to the right, to the left, sorry. And on the right, you see a satellite image of the Caspian Sea. And you can see how in the upper part, all this greenish color shows unbridled algae growth in an area that it's totally suffering from eutrophication. So in this image, you see the effects of a fertilizer runoff that covered a third of Lake Erie in 2011. That fertilizer runoff caused a toxic algae plume. And as you can imagine, everything living below the plume on the sea floor or in the water column would be choked by these toxins. So in this picture, you see two water samples. One was taken from a dead zone and the other from normal water. And we're looking at these water samples from under a microscope. So on the left, you see a water sample from the Gulf of Mexico's dead zone. You can see it's oxygen starved compared to the normal sample, and there's not much living in it. And then on the right hand side, you see a normal water sample from the Gulf of Mexico, and you see many more organisms and oxygen in this water sample. And here in this image, you also see that there was fertilizer runoff and the phytoplankton is going haywire. So this is phytoplankton that has transformed the creek into a tea-colored brew and created a dead zone where life suffocates from a lack of oxygen. The dead zone recurs each summer, so the scientist in this image monitors this site for the past 7 years, and he has seen this happening every single year. So before we finish up this topic, I have 2 quick concept check questions. What is hypoxia? If you answered B, the depletion of free oxygen in an area, you answered it correctly. Hypoxia refers to the depletion of the free oxygen content of surface water. Hypoxia is one of the effects of eutrophication in which excessive nutrients cause plumes of organisms that deplete the water's oxygen content through respiration. In nearshore waters, hypoxia is now thought to cause more mass fish death than any other single agent, including oil spills. It is the leading threat to commercial shell fisheries. What areas are typically the most affected by eutrophication? If you answered A, estuaries, you answered the question correctly. Eutrophication stimulates the growth of some species to the detriment of others, destroying the natural biological balance of an ocean area. The extra nutrients come from wastewater treatment plants, factory effluent, accelerated soil erosion, or fertilizers spread on land. They usually enter the ocean from river runoff and are particularly prevalent in estuaries. So this concludes our topic.